begin with Russell Wilson and the Broncos. And he struggled in his first season in Denver so far, especially when it comes to completing the passes he should. So look at this. Through 3 games, his completion percentage over expectation, negative 5.8%. That's the 4th worst mark in the NFL, if you're wondering, ahead of only Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, and Davis Mills. You think Russ and this Broncos offense is going to be able to turn it around?
I think they'll get better, but clearly the investment hasn't paid off from a scoring point standpoint. They got rid of Noah Fant. Look, here's what I would say. I'm not ready to panic in Denver just quite yet. I think as you look in this situation, they are sitting at 2-1. You can't complain. They may be the worst 2-1 team in the history of the National Football League right now, but I think over time they could become a better, more potent offense.
By the way, Key and I actually did coordinate our outfits today. As you can tell, we're going to the country club later.
You guys look like my coffee color.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Dan, your coffee's too light. Okay, let's get to Tom Brady. We've heard plenty about Tom Brady's struggles under pressure, under center in his career, but this season he's struggling even when he's kept clean. So through 3 games, Brady's been off target on 17%. You see the big number right there, Marcus, of passes when he's not pressured. That ranks 23rd in the NFL. What do you think the reason for these struggles are for Brady?
It's absolutely concerning, and I hate to bring up old stuff, but I wonder how he's feeling coming into this season. He had to take some time away in training camp. He doesn't have his requisite weapons, which is giving me a reason not to panic. If you had me, you, Boogie, and Dan Orlovsky playing wide receiver, your number. So when he gets Mike Evans back and Chris Godwin and this offense begins to flourish, as we've seen them have some trouble early in seasons when he first showed up and they were able to get things going, I think Tampa will be fine. I still trust Tom Brady until he makes me look like a lie.
All right, yeah, you've been saying that. You know, you're a pretty good tight end, by the way, if we were his receiving core. Dan said he could get open, and I'm pretty good with yards after the catch. Let's get to Aaron Rodgers. He got off to a horrible start this season, posting the 5th lowest total QBR in a single game of his career in the season opener, Dan. However, since then, he's looked pretty dang good. Green Bay's last 2 games, putting up numbers we're more used to seeing out of him. So, Dan, are you confident in the direction that the Packers are heading at this point?
Absolutely. 1, because that's how this offense is made roster-wise, and 2, that's what this offense has been for the past couple years with Aaron Rodgers. They, in many ways, are a perimeter-throwing, RPO-based offense. He doesn't push the ball downfield a ton until he has to. The question will be, when Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs feel like they are ready to now become parts of this explosive offense, and is Aaron Rodgers going to see it the same way? I don't think that this offense sits there and goes, they need to be that right now. They know that their offensive line is great. They have those 2 backs, and Aaron is the best point guard in the NFL. At some point, they are going to have to hit chunk and explosive plays. But those 2 young receivers will get there. And when they do, they've got the Hall of Famer ready. They will be completely fine offensively.
You told us earlier this week you're not worried about even some of the predictability offensively because it's just reliable. But I like that you said they got to get some explosive plays in there. All right, let's get to the Rams. Last season, Matthew Stafford got off to an extremely hot start that you see right here with the Rams. Through 3 games, he led the league in total QBR through 9 touchdowns to 1 interception. Through 3 games this season, it's been a lot different. Stafford's thrown more picks than touchdowns. And I know you hate to hear any negativity on Matthew Stafford, Dan, but listen, the numbers don't lie, and that's why Key gets to start first in this talk here. Key, what do you think is the reason for the slow start in this Rams offense?
I think, you know, when you look at it, they probably got to run the ball a little bit better. All right, they need another offensive weapon to go along with Cooper Kupp. They can't just sit and rely on Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
It's almost like Sean
Allen Robinson's been a little bit disappointed, right?
A little bit, but it's a new environment.
Sure.
And Sean McVay can't be afraid, Laura, to go to the same restaurant. Right? He can't be afraid, right? He can't. And he's teaching us that by going back to Cooper Kupp. But then on the flip side of things, it's okay to pass by a restaurant and walk in there and have something different. He continues to keep eating the same meal with Cooper Kupp, and he can't do that. The Rams will find themselves in a different position as the season wears on if they don't all of a sudden find something else to go along with Cooper Kupp. It's just too much Kupp. And I understand he's really good and really talented, but he's the only guy right now.
They won a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
And everybody understands now how Sean McVay wants to operate with Matt Stafford. And that's why people say it's so difficult to do it again, right? He'll find nuance. We had some of these same conversations about Sean McVay last year. When we were seeing this offense, Matthew Stafford was throwing interceptions. I'm not worried about overuse of Cooper Kupp at all.
Well, the only reason why I even mention that, because when you rely on somebody so much,
But Key, I think it's predicated on others.
But
that
you got,
point,
but
what
you got, but you got to put the trust in others too.
Yeah, but what you mentioned first was the run game.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And I need Henderson and Akers to come to the party. I need Sean McVay to trust it. I don't want Matthew Stafford. We already had conversations about his elbow. What is his health situation like? Handing the ball off, running reverses. Cooper Kupp scored on a reverse this game. And then you get to the red area, you run that one reverse, and you throw 3 passes into the end zone. Now, Allen Robinson, that not being in sync, that's a reasoning for that. But it's also, there's the frustration. It's also just like we talked about with Denver. Denver, line up in our formation and try to run the football and get in the end zone. Sometimes simplicity is what this offense needs. You got an offensive line. Andrew Whitworth is no longer there.
Yeah.
You have to, this team got to grow a little bit.
It's a little bit of a different team than a year ago.
It's got to grow. So I think that's a big part of what we're seeing happening right now.
All right, so these guys think it's super simple and they're not doing anything creative enough. Is that true from what you're saying?
I totally disagree.
Uh-oh.
Mine has nothing to do with creative.
All right. So, first of all, the Rams are treating their offensive line like a rookie quarterback. Don't be the reason we lose the game. And they learned that from week 1. So that's why we've seen, a little bit like they did last year, go under center. But this guy's the second most important person on their offense, Bennett Skoranek. He is a 6'5", 215-pound wide receiver who they're using as a fullback. That time, backside blocking. This time, he's at the fullback traditional position, ball fake his way, and they leak him up for a corner route. This is a kind of a chess piece that they use a ton. Now, Keyshawn's going to go, is he willing to block, though, Dan? Can he actually block an inside linebacker so it doesn't become obvious? I don't know. For the game-winning touchdown, I think so.
Absolutely.
That's why this guy has become, outside of Cooper Kupp, I honestly, dead honest to believe, he's the second most impactful person on his offense. They put Matthew under center. They're going more bootleg, play action. They're protecting the offensive line, and this is what that does, right? What that does is it allows the offensive line to get off the ball and start to push on people. That gains offensive linemen confidence. And as they gain confidence, the pass pro will be a little bit better.
Absolutely.
The communication that's needed in the run game kind of filters into the pass game. I actually believe that their offense is doing a tremendous job of realizing this is who we are right now. And we'll build, and I'm just going to throw a little teaser out there. Watch NFL Live next week, because we're going to get into kind of why. I said this about Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Alec Ingold in Miami.
Yep.
This is their Kyle Juszczyk
Buffalo
in LA.
fullback you talked about.
I'm telling you that there's a reality of what's going on in the league
Look,
when it comes
Dan,
to
you
that
don't have
stuff.
to kill a guy when you block. Just get in the way.
Right.
You just get in the way.
How many teams can take a receiver, put him at his traditional receiver spot and run deep crosses like they do with Ben
He's a
Skoranek?
tweener. He's between the receiver and the tight end.
But then motion him into the backfield and run lead ISO on a backer.
What you just showed is exactly what I'm talking about. You got to get somebody else involved.
Sure.
They were able to get him involved by sneaking him out there.
Right.
That linebacker thinks he's getting ready to hammer him, and he slips past him, run the corner route. That's creative by Sean.
Absolutely.
But you can't only do it one time. You got to figure out how to get other people involved. That's all I'm saying.
Key, when you blocked, were you more the kill a guy type blocker or just getting the
Man, he was the nail.
He got in the way.
You either the hammer
It
or
depends
you
on
the
who it
nail.
was, to be honest with you, Laura. I'm not listening to Swagger.
He got in the way.
I like that.
If they
Get your
told me to
job
go
done.
bite, I was going to go bite. That's
Yeah,
all.
you never been too scared to bite. All right, coming up next on NFL Live after a Week 3 loss to the
I don't even know what that means,
The
but okay.
biggest loss may have been their quarterback. Mike Reese joins the show to give us a Mac Jones update. Don't miss it.